Most of us have been given the same advice. To become a better problem solver, you need to solve more problems. But this advice is too simplistic. Getting good at anything requires more than just reps. It's also how you go about it. The process matters. If you focus exclusively on quantity, the number of problems you solve, you can compromise on quality and can miss key learnings along the way. As a result, you'll probably find yourself relearning previously learned concepts. This is time-consuming and frustrating. That's why in this video, I'm going to share 5 ways you can get better at solving problems, which will also help you have a higher quality problem-solving practice. Let's get started. If you're joining me for the first time, then welcome. I'm Amy, and on this channel, I talk about learning, programming, and skill building. Let's dive into it. The first way to get better at problem solving is to solve a variety of problems on a variety of platforms. Now, I recall watching a Python tutorial when I began to program, and one comment from the instructor really stood out to me. "I was obsessed with HackerRank when I began to code," she said. It sounded to me that this instructor solved all or most of her problems on HackerRank. In other words, HackerRank was her primary problem-solving platform. That was alarming for me to hear. It's fine to have a favorite platform. I certainly do. But don't limit yourself to a single one. And here's why. You need to be ready for anything. In the wild, you might have a simple, straightforward problem to work through on Monday. But on Tuesday, you might have a very complex one. And this is why you need to solve a variety of problems on a variety of problem-solving platforms. Each platform is different in terms of the problem statements and the tests they provide. Moreover, some platforms provide very straightforward problem statements, whereas others are much more ambiguous and complex. A problem on exorcism, for example, is different than a problem on HackerRank. Prepare yourself for this real-world scenario by solving problems on various platforms like LeetCode, AlgoExpert, Exorcism, Advent Code. There are benefits for doing this. First, like I said, you'll be prepared for anything. Second, you'll get outside of your comfort zone, which is where you want to be because this is where you learn and grow the most. The second way to get better at solving problems is to cross-train your programming brain. Many athletes incorporate cross-training. That is, they regularly incorporate a related skill or task into their workout routine. Take a swimmer as an example. Instead of swimming every single day of the week, they'll cross-train by running 2 days per week, for example, instead of swimming. Why do they do this? In order to push their cardiovascular fitness in a different way. They do this also to prevent burnout and add to the overall fitness. These are similar reasons why programmers need to cross-train as well. By cross-training, you'll improve your mental fitness, prevent burnout, and get practice using a related skill in a different context. Cross-training as a programmer means that you regularly incorporate a related skill or task into your learning routine. Let me give you a couple of suggestions. You could solve math problems, and if you choose this route, consider the Art of Problem Solving series. Or you could work through a logic course. Both are useful activities because both involve logical thinking and so does programming. You can also solve the same problem in a different language. This gives you problem-solving practice in a different context. The third way to get better at solving problems is to learn from your solutions. Here's what typically happens. You solve a problem, then you're ready to speed off to the next problem. Don't do this. Apply what mathematician George Pólya calls looking back at your completed solution. It means to reconsider and re-examine the result and the path that led to it. The idea is to solve a problem, then before you rush off to the next one, you look back at your completed solution, you learn from it, you improve it, and you consolidate your knowledge. The fourth way to get better at solving problems is to get feedback. Now you might be thinking to yourself, get feedback, that's so obvious. Well, that might be the case, but too few people take advantage of this opportunity, and it is an opportunity. This is low-hanging fruit all of us need to take advantage of. That's because awareness can be a wonderful teacher. Don't assume your solutions are great. Find out yourself by getting feedback. Now let's talk about some specific ways you can get feedback. One way is to give yourself feedback through self-assessment. Self-assessing your work means to identify your mistakes and correct them. A way to go about this is to study the solutions of others. So after you solve one problem, study the solutions of others who solve the same problem. Identify a different data structure you could use or a different algorithm you could apply. Then take what you learn and apply it. Another way to get feedback is to simply ask for it. And here's why feedback matters. First, it brings awareness to your blind spots. What I might overlook, someone else picks up. Feedback can also help you build mental models. A mental model is a framework that helps you understand how something works in the world. You use mental models in daily life all the time to help you think, decide, and understand the world around you. And they're also very useful when it comes to learning new things. For example, when you ask for feedback from a programmer might share a sketch or a diagram for how they think about a particular concept. This diagram or sketch can help make something that's abstract much more concrete and easier to understand and think about. Now, if the programmer doesn't proactively share their mental models, then ask, how did you know how to think about X in this way? This will prompt them to share their thought process with you. The last way to get better at problem solving is to be consistent. Now, I'm not suggesting that you solve problems just to solve problems, nor am I advocating mindless repetition. Rather, I'm suggesting repetition with a purpose. And I've given you a few ideas for how to be more purposeful with your problem-solving practice in this video. So hopefully you can put these ideas to use and put them into practice on a consistent basis. Problem solving is fundamental to programming, so make time each day to problem solve, whether that is 30 minutes or 3 hours. But, and this is the important point, be intentional with your practice. Quality matters. Make each problem count. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and that subscribe button, and make it an effective day.